Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Humbert here. Today we're going to be doing our first notes of Unit 9, which is just kind of learning how to draw in three dimensionals. So if you think about a cube, right? Now up until this point we've dealt entirely with two dimensions. Well, now we're going to start thinking and working in two dimensions. So when you think about a cube can actually be kind of taken apart into a two-dimensional shape. That's called the net. That's where we kind of unravel this two-dimensional or this three-dimensional object. So what I see here is I have a face right here. Okay, that's called a face. That's the side of the cube. So what I notice is I kind of have three squares that are kind of wrapped all around this. So for example, if I took, if you think about maybe a sheet of toilet paper, I know it's kind of silly, but there's those squares, and we can take four squares, and if you wrap them, you can create those sides. So I'm going to take each of those squares, and I'm going to draw them, not so perfectly I might add, all together. So if we think about it, if we take it end to end and we fold it up, we can make each of these sides of the cubes. Now this will be kind of like a box without a top or a bottom. We're going to need a top or a bottom. So stemming from these cubes, we need to have a top and a bottom. Then I can take those and I can use them kind of flap over and cover the cube. So this right here would be a net of a cube. Alright, next, let's go ahead and let's take a look. That's another example of a net of a cube. That one would work as well. You can take it and you can wrap it up and then draw it on the other side. Taking a look at this is a triangular prism. So we want to talk about drawing the net of this object. So what I notice is that at the bottom, I have a rectangle. So that's what I'm going to start with, is at the bottom, I have this rectangle. That's the base, is my rectangle. Then, stemming up from the rectangle, on either side, I have big triangles. On the long sides, I have larger triangles stemming up. So that's what we're going to draw stemming up from the rectangle are those larger triangles. Then from the other sides, I have these smaller triangles right here, and those are going to also reach up. So all of these triangles I could fold up into a point, and that would make my net. Okay, so there's another example of that net. I know it's kind of hard to see on there. Okay, so we have that base, and then we have each of the triangles that are going up from that base. Okay? Now let's take a look at isometric dot paper. So isometric dot paper looks like this, and we use the dots to help us draw in three dimensions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this T going the other way. Then I want you to try and draw your very own T. So first, what I notice is that there's 4 dots worth. So I'm going to have it facing the other way. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. And then I want to connect it. Okay, then I see that on the side that shows I need to have that square. So everything that's kind of back here behind the T isn't going to be seen because of the angle that I'm drawing it. So then I'm going to extend this down here and this all the way back here. So that's going to create the top of my T. And then I want to go ahead and I go 1, 2 in and I go down, and that's going to be one side, and then I'm going to go down on the other side. Notice I only went 3 dots. So if you look, those 3 dots, if you look, the 3 dots here and here, oops, let's undo that. Okay, those 3 dots, they end up lining up at different spots. So this one ends here and that one ends there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to connect those. And I noticed that I needed to go back this way as well. And then I'm going to draw it up there. So that's my next diagram of the T. So I want you guys to take that space and I want you to draw your very own T without my help. Okay. Next, these next ones are simply just seeing if you can copy over the object. So we're just trying to draw it exactly like it is. So I noticed that going up this way I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going up 1, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and go up 1, 2. And then from here I'm going over 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. And then it's going to cut down. So once I go over 3, I cut down. And then I go over and I cut up and I go over. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go like this. And please forgive my drawing. It is kind of hard to draw in here. So I notice that it goes out 1 here and it goes over and it's going to make another square. And then I need to make the bottom of my square, so I'm going to connect down here, here, and here. Here's what I suggest you do. I want you to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try drawing number 5 on your own, and then I'm going to talk through it. So to make sure you can do it, I want you to go ahead and try number 5 on your own. So go ahead and pause that video. So when you draw number 5, you'll notice that there's going to be 4. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to go over, and then down. So that's making that box right there. Now I want to go ahead, I'm going to make my up part. So I'm going up this way, then I notice I need to go 2 over this way. So I'm going to go 2 over that way. Then I'm going down 1 and then cutting over. So I can go ahead and connect those to what I've previously drawn. And then I'm going to draw up, and then I'm going to draw over, and then I'm going to draw back, and I'm going to connect. So compare your drawing with the one that I drew and the one that's already there. Does it look the same? Okay, so the next part of this is actually going to be done in a different video because I'm going to be showing you how to use the manipulatives. So go ahead and you're going to go ahead and watch part 2 of this video. So once you're done with this video, what I want you to do is come up to my desk, show me that number 5 is completed, and then I will give you some blocks that you're going to use for these next steps.